It is a very, very steep grade. So this is where the customer got to himself. Customer's got all the material here. Do you like it?
I don't know yet.
This entire area is concrete underneath it. Wow, that shook the ground. The best move is to take all this out, and I should be able to make the ramp up. You can see my skid mark going down there. Me, one of the parts that was in this job was building that ramp. Hey.
Hi.
You mow grass?
I do.
Yeah? Put a list together for you. You can go out and mow lawns every day?
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
Mow and weed whack.
Everybody that does hardscaping tells you, you got to get into maintenance, pays the bills, and then you can do hardscaping as extra money. No. Straight hardscapes, guys. Nothing but hardscapes. You're looking fresh, dude.
You
nice
too.
to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Finished up that monster job. Now we're on a little job, but it feels like a monster today. We are here at a viewer of the channel, actually. They started doing a project themselves, and just not enough time to do that kind of stuff with a busy life and children. So anyway, he found out that I lived pretty close, within 20 minutes, and reached out and had me come take a look. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge. It's not a big job. It's a bunch of little parts of a job, but the challenge part of it is the grade. Now I know GoPros are usually not good at picking up grades, but you can't hide this one. It is a very, very steep grade, as you can see. Tight road, gonna be difficult. Let's just get right into it. I'll show you what we're doing first. So at the top of these steps, we're gonna actually be adding 1 to 2 more, and it's going to be poured concrete. So with this grade here, I'm kind of reluctant to put free setting steps like granite or a concrete block because of just the possibility for sliding down. So we're going to do poured concrete step, and then off that step it's going to just 90-degree over and hook into that corner over there. This tree I think is going, I got to confirm that with them, but from this corner over and back there's going to be just kind of a small crushed stone bed, just to put like a planting pot or something in it. And then off this step it's going to go over and 90-degree into that, and this whole area is going to be poured concrete with a brush finish. I'm just a little iffy of whether the pavers are going to hold because of this slope, and I wouldn't want it all shifting on them. The concrete being all poured together with rebar or mesh, whatever I decide to use, is going to be more likely to just stay in place for the longest amount of time, and it will tie in with the existing concrete steps and the other concrete stoop. So that's just what we came up with. And then where that concrete ends, we're going to be putting in stepping stones, and we'll have them laid out down this path here, and it's going to turn into this back patio. So this is where the customer got to himself. He excavated, backfilled, laid the block. Cap is not glued. The only thing is that there's not a ton of stone underneath the blocks down here. He wanted to kind of come all the way out with it. So what I'm probably going to be doing is leaving this line right here, but we're going to end up popping this out a little bit and resetting these blocks in, just because I don't think there's adequate stone under some of them. Some of them there is, some there isn't. Customer's got all the material here. There was 2 full pallets. We broke it down into 4 because no matter how we end up getting up here, a full pallet's going to be tough to handle at once. Off the back of this is gonna be like a half moon decorative stone fire pit area. So we're gonna go around, hook it to the other side, and we're gonna be putting a fire pit right here so that you can have half the people sitting on the patio and half the people sitting on the back crushed stone area. Save the cost a little bit of pavers, and you know, the times where there are a little bit of additional company, you'll have more seating. So that's that. Now we come over here. The last thing we're going to be doing is just kind of cleaning up all the junk, leveling this area out, spreading some soil and grass seed, and that's basically the job. Not a huge job. If this was just a level yard, this would be much quicker, but the obstacle is the grade. There's no spot around this house that you can get up and back here, so there's really only two options for us here to get the machine up, and they're both covered under my estimate, but the estimate included building a soil ramp from down there up here. So basically coming in and dumping fill and building that bottom up so I can come up with the machine to access this area. Customer kind of did a lot of clearing back here. The other option is to come down or come up through here. We got to clean up all this stuff first, obviously, but come up through here with the machine, and I barely fit between these trees. It's gonna be, I don't even know if I fit yet. I'm still not sure, but the bucket doesn't fit until we lift it up to about right here, because these trees kind of like open up, so it's gonna be iffy. But even if I do come from up here, I got to put some soil or dirt down first, because I won't be able to get up here. It's too steep. I already kind of tried. You see my track marks there. By the time I get to the trees, the machine's really tippy, and it just doesn't feel comfortable. So I usually try not to get into situations that are bad like that. I'd hate to flip my machine while I'm here. I mean, you can see it's like straight up. So this area's kind of got to get filled in with some dirt, but I'm still not sure. And putting the ramp over there is something the customer doesn't really want to do, I don't think. So we're gonna work on trying to make it through here, but the problem is we're gonna have to wheelbarrow a lot of the dirt that's up in the backyard, because using the stuff that he took out for the patio was the plan to put on the bottom of the ramp. So all those piles up there, we're gonna have to shovel and wheelbarrow down to the bottom over here. Just walked them around, bud.
Yeah, did they like it, you think?
I don't know, we'll find out in the comments. Do you like it?
I don't know yet.
You're wishing I drove by the estimate, huh?
I missed the street.
Yeah, this is a tough one, man. Toughy. Alright guys, we're gonna do all that moving dirt off camera, so catch up with you. All the 3 piles of fill are gone, huh, bud?
Yep. Time to make some new piles.
Yeah, we're working by hand with wheelbarrows right now still. Haven't quite been able to get the machine up the hill. We're working on it though, and we got to dig some more over there. I think we're gonna end up just going out straight with the patio, hooking it in. It may end up being like a little landing right here, like a 1 step up, but we still got to dig down a couple inches of this soil for the stone fire pit area. So we're gonna take this soil and keep building up our ramp over here. I'll show you what it looks like. This right here, just kind of found out all this dirt right here is actually covering a concrete patio. I thought it was just a random piece of concrete here and there. This entire area is concrete underneath it, and I did not know it, because it blends in so good. That's concrete though. So we'll have to figure that out. But this is still really tight. I got the angle to where I can get through. It does fit. I kind of like rub up against each of the base of the barks. The base of the trees. So we're gonna take some dirt and fill in that area now to get me up a little bit higher. But the issue I'm having is that all these little stumps right here, this one in particular, if I come up with my track, that's basically right there is where I'm gonna have to turn the machine. And if I turn it right on that stump, it's gonna hurt. This side, it's clear for me to do a quick turn. Haven't quite figured out what I want to do with that yet. And we also didn't look up before, but there is a huge widowmaker up in that tree. There's kind of mostly dead branches holding it, plus the bittersweet vines wrapped around it, which I had to cut off high enough to where if I did get through, I could swing and it won't be on my machine. I got it, dude. I love it. Careful. Wow, that shook the ground. That's wild. Thing's solid, huh?
It's rebarring.
There you go. Alright. So Ben's breaking that up. Saw the two lines. This inner line is kind of what I estimated for, but after laying it out, I'm thinking that one, with the way the grades are, I'll show you in a minute, but this block wall right here is kind of useless with the way the grade lays out, and this side over here, a lot of the blocks need to get reset. So I sent some messages to the customer to see if we can come out to this line, which will meet up with the house, and then come out to this outer line here, which will hook around to the left side of that door. And then obviously that block would be gone, the fire pit would be right there, and then this would be the gravel area, and the pavers would come right up to the edge of that wall. So it would just go straight line and then transition into just decorative stone on the outside of the fire pit. I think that would be the best layout with what we got. So I sent him the message, and we're just kind of waiting to hear back. And if it's go, we pull the trigger. We're basically gonna just lift up all these wall blocks and put them aside, kind of prep everything a little bit better, and then start building the wall. But like I said, you can kind of see over here, I got it washed out a little bit, so those blocks need to get picked up anyway, probably down to like over here. And with the way the grade is, it's much higher on that side than over here. So what I'm gonna do with the wall block is just go with that line and then go around the curve a little bit, and it'll just kind of die into the grade where it levels off over here. This concrete's gonna come out, probably gonna work on that, but that's about the height of where we want the top of the patio. And that would leave us roughly with like, we're going for like a 6-inch step down from that threshold onto the pavers. And where the block is now, not a full eighth, but close to an eighth, slope down to where the height of that concrete is. Heck yeah, dude. Banged it up, huh?
She all broke up.
Share what?
So she all broke up? Look at this shit.
Oh yeah, poison ivy, man. Tons of it here. If it's 3 leaves, don't touch it.
Yeah.
How you gonna get it out of the tree hole, dude?
Do it from the side.
It's crazy though, if this patio was the same height as over here, dude, the trees just lifted it over the 60 years, 70 years it's been growing, maybe more.
Sure,
Lifted up that side, the roots. It's silly, right? He said, send it, bud.
Send it.
Pulling it up, gonna redo it in a different way. Turn. I think you're good to turn.
Made it.
Yeah, just barely though. So you saw us measure off of the step there, took our screed, we did 1/8 of a slope up, made a mark on that, and then we are 1/8 of a slope that way. So at the end of this, the patio is going to slope to the right and away from the house. And that's what I mean. When that bubble is just touching the line on one side or the other, it's 1/8 inch slope, meaning 1/8 of an inch drop per foot of length, give or take a very small amount. When you see the level like that, that's 1/8 of a slope. So this is going to be the height of the wall and patio and the face of it. We're going to use that string to get us prepped out. I'm going to go like 6 to 8 inches past the outside of this so we can get a nice base in it and hopefully start laying some blocks soon, dude. Morning, bud.
Morning.
Today is Tuesday, August 6th, 2024. So, customer came home. We worked late last night, just kind of seeing what we could do. And we talked about the ramp that I have to make, but we also were discussing this entire area. There's like forsythia in there. You can kind of tell that's what was planted, but it kind of got overrun with small sapling trees and bittersweet. So we are going to take this entire area out. I have a little chainsaw that connects to my weed whacker, which is perfect for something like this. There's only 2 trees I'm gonna have to cut up in like 2 or 3 sections. After that, everything I pull out, I can just pull with the thumb of the mini excavator. We just brought that here this morning. So this was an add-on right here. It was before, this was all really overgrown. The customer actually cut out a lot of stuff himself. But the plan before was to make this ramp right here. Just kind of add a lot of soil and then slowly fade it up so I could access it. But when he cleared that, we wanted to see if we could make our way back there, which is just seeming to be real difficult. It's just too tight. The turns are too narrow. The best move is to take all this out, and I should be able to make the ramp up and to the right of that tree, up to the top landing there. And once this is all cleaned up and we're gone, we're gonna kind of coat it with soil. They can either plant grass or, you know, put some privacy shrubs or perennials, whatever. So that is the goal today right now. Clear this all up, create that ramp, climb this hill. This is where we stand right now. Hey man, I'd say that was a good day yesterday for doing most of it by hand.
Absolutely. It was a workout, one I haven't had in a while.
This is a nice shape though, huh?
Yeah.
Talking about maybe trying to get that hanging limb there. I might. I'm also still kind of nervous about it. We'll see what happens. lot cut up, and we're just kind of fine-tuning the rest right now. Just kind of clipped a bunch of roots. Ben's raking through it to see what we missed. Clip some more roots. It's getting there though.
Yeah, a lot different than it was before.
Oh, I'm glad I got that Widowmaker, dude. That thing was sketchy. You saw me pull that thing down. I wasn't gonna mess with trying to rip that. I did try to put my bucket on it and like push to see if it was like almost ready to be broken, but it's still holding on strong. But I did get that loose limb down, cut it all up, made a little pile for me to grab with the machine. And you saw me going through this whole area. There's a bunch of root systems from sapling trees, and that's what I was trying to get rid of. That wasn't any of the roots from these two trees. These two trees are so big and established. Those are much deeper. All those surface roots were from all the bittersweet, the forsythia, the sapling trees. Kind of just combing through with the bucket and pulling up all those root systems. That way they don't keep growing back in the future. We'll get as much of that as we can. Even through here there was a bunch of stuff growing, so I'm gonna just kind of comb through it with the bucket. Almost died twice over here. Some slippery mud. But in here we have poison ivy. That's some poison ivy. This is a sapling maple tree. This is a root system to a bittersweet vine. And if we follow all this is bittersweet vine right here. Oh, actually that's a nice loose one. I think, yeah, this is the one that's connected. This is bittersweet. I want to try to pull that vine out. There's a big one right here if you can see it, and it's surrounded by poison ivy. All that right there is poison ivy, but we're not messing with any of that. I'm just trying to get some of these big established bittersweet like roots, pull those out so they don't start growing back again. And then we'll just kind of keep fading everything down and around, clean this up, and we're going to import probably 10 to 12 yards of loam. Not like composted loam, because we don't want a bunch of just soft soil, but just screen dirt really. So it's got like 3/8 inch less. There's like some rocks in it, but mostly dirt. And we'll use that to make this grade, lift it up right here, and then fade the grade in a little to where I can get the machine up and down, no problem. Time to bring the pallets up. They brought 2 4-yard loads. You brought 3. So that's 11 yards of just straight loom compacted in lifts. Nice and tight. Still pretty steep, but I should be able to get up here no problem. I'm gonna come in at a little bit of an angle, and I'm gonna stack all the pallets over there so we can just pull from them as we need it. But before we bring them up, we gotta put some plastic wrap on them, because coming up the hill, those could all fall down, and that would be sour. So that's what we're gonna do. Good morning, everybody. Today's Friday, August 9th, 2024. We took a couple days off. Wednesday, went to the beach. Yesterday was my birthday, and we went disc golfing. Whooped you the first round, then you whooped me the second.
Seems like it keeps going back and forth like that.
That's all it is, man. But it was a couple nice days off from work. Needed it. We're back here. You guys saw where we left off. This is all nice and clean. It's been raining the past couple days, so that slope's a bit muddy. You can see my skid mark going down there. But we're at the point where we're about ready to start screeding and laying pavers. We gotta compact this base stone and then bring our chip stone up. Did a little bit off camera this morning, not much, but I cut this concrete slab back a little bit so we can lay our pavers right up to it. Ben cut some of like the bumps off the back of these caps so we can lay pavers right up against the edge. And we touched up this whole area, double checked it, it's good to go. And the first row of screed rails is gonna go right here so that we can lay a big area up against the house and come this way. Gonna put the bag of chipstone right here. We'll cut it open and we'll just throw all the chipstone over where we're gonna be screeding. Then I can move the pallet of chipstone out of the way, bring a couple pavers over and put them right next to where we're gonna lay. So let's just get into it, bud. So like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this customer started off as a viewer of the channel because he was trying to find some videos on how to build this patio himself, and he came across me, obviously. And he wanted to really build the patio himself because he knew he could do it. But the issue, like a lot of people find when they dig into projects like this, is not necessarily you can't do it, but you don't have the time to do it, because it takes a lot of time. I mean, even me and Ben here, that's two of us here. I think it was a week or so we were here. And, you know, that ends up being like 80 hours of time, experience time too. When you don't know exactly what you're doing, that time's going to almost double or triple. So if you're talking about 80 man hours times 3, I mean, that's just an incredible amount of time that you have to put aside for a project like this. And when you work full time and you have a family, it's just not something that's possible. So people end up hiring other people that are skilled at what they do and do it for a living so that projects like this can get done in a timely manner. If you have just a small patio on level ground that you're trying to build, it would be much easier. But as you can see with the hill that I was dealing with, if you're just a homeowner and you don't have all the equipment and tools, you know, thinking about physically bringing up all that material by hand or with wheelbarrows, I mean, that's just a lot of work. So this was definitely a job that had some struggles and unique problems, but it's all about in the estimating process and the planning process is coming up with a good idea of how you're going to execute the project. And for me, one of the parts that was in this job was building that ramp. I have to make that its own line item to bring soil in and grade it, and you know, pulling out all those overgrown forsythia and all those little sapling trees on that hill and making the ramp made it so we could access the backyard, but it also changed his property tenfold. So now he's got a way to be able to get up and down the backyard, and we, at the end of the job, we grass seeded it, so it ends up looking a lot better. You can see the base of the nice big trees that he has, the oak trees. So it all just ended up working out really good. And the pavers, he bought the pavers that he sees on the channel. That's why we're using those. The chipstone he had delivered in a bag, so it all ended up working out pretty good. So I was happy with it. The next video, we're gonna finish up the patio and build the concrete block fire pit, and then the video after that, we're gonna be pouring the concrete little sidewalk and landings in the front yard. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already. But you guys already know the deal. Until the next one, God bless, peace.